going on, everybody out there in YouTube land? It's not podcast land today.
Not this time.
Or wait. Isn't it? Well, technically, this is a podcast. Anyway, guys, what's going on? You guys are here officially seeing the first ever video podcast of this channel. And when it gets uploaded, of course, to Apple, it's going to be in audio. So you guys don't get to see our pretty faces.
Well,
but anyway, what's going on, guys? It is me, Mike, and as you can see over there we go, over here. Yep, yeah, there we go. Yeah, we got Cass over there. Welcome to our first ever video podcast. This is the first time I've ever done a video podcast.
Sure.
And so, first of all, I hope you guys like that. That kind of relaxing intro. It makes you feel loosey goosey.
Really does. Yeah.
But anyway, so welcome here. We are getting into the Harry Potter HBO series. We are just doing this because we've been very interested to kind of discuss this because it's a big conversation, of course. We have so far, we have 6 confirmed cast members for this series. And of course, they've already confirmed that it's going to take place over a 10-year span. Which I feel like that's the same what they did with Game of Thrones but with Game of Thrones, I feel like no, Game of Thrones didn't get delayed because of COVID. COVID happened a couple of years after the final season of. Yeah, but I mean, like this is going to be a very interesting series because all of us Harry Potter fans, both me and Cass, we are both Potterheads. So. What we're going to be discussing in this show, of course, is just talk about, of course, the cast members that have already been confirmed, and of course, talk about what we really want to see for this first season, because I think it's going to be 8 episodes for I'm saying the Philosopher's Stone. I don't think I can say the Sorcerer's Stone.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
But I mean, already confirmed. The biggest story, of course, for all Potter fans out there is, of course, for Papa Isidu, of course, being Professor Snape. So, there have been. I've just looked on the Harry Potter social medias, and all I see are people just saying, recast Snape, and the thing that I have with this, when I saw that Papa Isidu got showed that he was going to be Professor Snape, was I wasn't necessarily upset with it. It was just like it was more of a confusing casting choice. But right. When you go down Isidu's acting credentials, and he's got Shakespearean acting credentials, and it's just like how do you say no to something like that? Exactly. I think what people are, I don't think it's necessary. I think it has something to do, of course, with race changing, and we've actually talked about this. We talked about this, and we've definitely been wanting to make sure we take this very lightly because we don't want to really offend anybody. But I mean, I kind of see where people are going at it in this standpoint. Like they don't want to see a race change with characters, and we've seen it with Snow White. We've seen it with Snow White with Walt Disney releasing that movie, and it did not receive a lot of great reviews to it. But with me, I don't know. I'm just saying, give the guy a chance. I feel like you got to give the guy a chance. And I don't necessarily hate this. I don't like it either. But it's just I think they chose a great actor in Papa Isidu.
I think so too. And for me personally, it's not even nothing against the guy. That's not for me.
Absolutely not. I have
really
nothing against him.
But kind of a whole part of him is he's a shady character, and I feel like with the race change, everyone looking at him kind of weird. It doesn't really sit right with me, I guess. That it kind of changes the motive.
Also, I need to bring this up. Of course, Alan Rickman's fucking wig in his.
Oh my god!
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. His wig in Harry Potter. It's gonna look ridiculous on Papa Isidu. That wig is gonna look ridiculous.
I wonder what they can do. They might not keep it the same. They might change it.
You cannot change, but that's another problem, is that you can't change it. Snape has greasy black long hair, and so that's a problem. That's a big problem with this one. But it's just I'm not necessarily saying that we should write off the guy right there, because I don't think that's a problem right now that people are having. I think it's just a problem that they're trying to appease to a certain group.
Yes.
And and look, I get it. I don't have any problems with a black dude being Professor Snape. I don't have a problem with it. I do have a problem with kind of color blinding casting, which happened, of course, with Snow White. And I'm worried it might be this one might actually be that. But again, I'm not going to write off Aceto just now.
Exactly. I get that.
Yeah. Another confirmed cast member is John Lithgow, who we got the pleasure of listening to a couple weeks ago in Shrek, is now going to be casted as Albus Dumbledore. That, in my opinion, is, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of the more interesting casting choices, because John Lithgow, of course, is a great actor. He's an absolutely great actor. Of course, we don't have any of the Dumbledores. Both Dumbledores are gone, and Gandalf, the guy who played. Wait a minute. I'm trying to think of this, like, because who? Yeah, it was the other Dumbledore who played. Didn't the guy who did play Dumbledore play? Let's see, who did? Oh no, it was Ian McKellen,
Oh.
who played him. And I don't know. I feel like maybe Ian should have been casted as Dumbledore, because again, when you look at him in Gandalf, he definitely gets a Dumbledore-ish look to him. And I don't know. I can't write anything off with John Lithgow, because I got to give it to him. He is a terrific actor, but he's always been more of a comedic actor rather than a serious actor.
And Dumbledore really, there's a few slight little hints of humor, but that man's not joke.
No, he really isn't. And I don't know. I feel like I understand of why they didn't select Ian, because Ian's 85 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and John Lithgow, he's not necessarily all that younger. I mean, he's 79 years old, so, and you don't know exactly what's going to happen in the 10 years. You're probably going to have to switch Dumbledores like they did with what they did with the Harry Potter movie series.
Yeah.
So you gotta be prepared for that. Another casting choice, I actually really like this, by the way. I like Nick Frost. Nick Frost is being casted as Hagrid. Yes. That is, I think, one of my favorite casting choices, because I love Nick Frost. I love Nick Frost as an actor. He's one of the funniest human beings out there. One of my favorite movies, of course, is Shaun of the Dead and Paul, with him in it.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and he just absolutely. I think he's actually going to bring that comedic role to Hagrid, and but he also knows how to be a serious actor, which Robbie Coltrane, God rest his soul. He
no one can ever take that place.
No one can ever take that place, and it's always funny, because we look back as young adults right now. You're a young adult. I'm a little bit older, but I mean, we look back as adults, and we just see what those people brought, how much joy those people brought to us.
Right. Exactly.
And Coltrane just brought so much joy to us. But no, I mean, your thoughts on Nick Frost being Hagrid, because again, like, and it's kind of funny, because he's not even going to be collaborate. Simon Pegg is not even going to be part of this, and he usually collaborates with Simon Pegg.
Hold on one second.
Oh, not a problem.
I mean, with all these casting choices, I struggle with like knowing where I've seen people from, and so whenever like you say a name, I'm like, who's that? Where have I seen them? Because I know
got to research it.
So yeah, that's one thing that I've been a little lax about. But like I said, no one can obviously take the place of the original Hagrid. He holds a really special place in all of our hearts. People that grew up with the franchise, and people that even just started watching them like a few years ago or last week. He's just such a beloved character, and I don't know. I mean, I do think that Nick Frost is going to be a good choice. I'm not like nervous about that.
I
But
think that's actually. I think it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I actually think that was one of the best casting choices so far in this series
that's
because
what I was going to go with. Yeah.
yeah, because Nick Frost he kind of does make sense. And let's see, another one that now a lot of these other these other three people I'm gonna actually have to look up. So don't get like fretted on this one, but so we have Professor Quirrell, of who I don't know, like I think this is kind of funny because the original actor for Lupin was originally supposed to be Quirrell in the Philosopher's Stone film.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was very interesting. So Luke Thallon is being casted as Professor Quirrell, and I'm looking at a photo right here, and he actually, if you look at his photo, he actually kind of gives off some Quirrell vibes.
Loki. Oh, actually, he really does.
He really does. Like,
Shoot.
dang.
Okay. Not mad about that. But
Yeah, like
I don't know
that's
if I've seen him in anything though.
I
So
have never seen him in anything. I'm looking at his acting credentials, and he has one film, but he's mostly a theater actor.
right.
But I'm looking down at his theater acting credentials, and he just recently played Prince Hamlet in a
Oh.
Royal Shakespearean Theater. So once again, we have our second Shakespearean actor part of this series, which I think that if you can play Shakespearean roles, like that tells me just how good of an actor you are.
Very true. Yeah.
So let's keep looking at this. So we have Argus. We have Filch. His role has been pulled up. Let's see. It is going to be Paul Whitehouse. Never heard of him before, and she's great. Now I'm looking at his photo, and he's giving off Filch vibes. Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Wow. So this is kind of interesting. So I'm looking at his credentials right here, and he has been in. Let's see. He has been in Corpse Bride, Alice in Wonderland, and Death of Stalin. So
Nice.
I will say this, like that Alice in Wonderland film, like that scared the hell out of me. The one now, I think this is hilarious. He actually has a credential in a Harry Potter film. So this is kind of funny. This is hilarious. So he has a credit in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban as Sir Cadogan in the deleted scenes. I remember those deleted scenes where he was Sir Cadogan, that wacky knight as in the portrait.
Shit. Oh yeah.
That's hilarious.
Damn. Well. Oh shoot. I mean,
Yeah.
so like look wise, they've been hitting it with the casting choices for the most part. But yeah, not too mad about that.
And then Janet McTeer is going to be playing Professor McGonagall. I'm looking at her photo. Oh my god! Wow.
Who is it?
Janet McTeer. Wow.
Okay.
See, she's giving off some Professor McGonagall vibes too. Like this is kind of interesting because
she's kind of giving me Umbridge vibes a little bit.
Is she giving you Umbridge vibe? That's interesting.
If her hair was darker, she'd probably give me.
That's
Umbridge
very
vibe.
interesting because who I'm trying to figure this out. Oh my gosh, I'm looking it up right now. Imelda Staunton was the original Professor Umbridge in the Goblet of Fire. No, not the Goblet of Fire. The Order of the Phoenix.
Yes.
And in the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Right.
And I absolutely one thing that I absolutely loved about being a Harry Potter fan, I loved Imelda. She's such one of the most talented British actresses of all time, and it tells you just how good of an actress she is. Because if you are that good of an actress to where people hate your fucking guts,
yes,
like that tells you just how great she was.
Like I want to say that Order of the Phoenix is my least favorite movie just because of Umbridge and how much I hate her, but I love her as an actress. So I don't know.
See, I think that's kind of hilarious because we talked about this. By the way, but I mean, another terrific actress who played Professor McGonagall, God rest her soul, Maggie
Love
Smith.
her. Oh
Like,
my gosh.
um, one of the most incredible scenes that I've ever seen Maggie Smith in was with Robin Williams in Hook, and every time I watch that scene now, I start choking up.
Right.
Um, but Maggie Smith had a terrific life. She was a brilliant actress, and nobody can replace her. But
Nope.
but no, we brought this up, and I actually say that the Half Blood Prince is the worst
Right.
film out of all this series, and I don't know how many I don't know how many people in the Harry Potter franchise or the Potterheads would actually agree with me, but if you look at the acting, it was horrible. Like that gray type of look that they gave,
Yeah.
the coloring, it was so off-putting. And then there was so many unnecessary scenes in that movie, like that fight at the Burrow, where the Burrow was just. I hated that scene. I absolutely hated that scene. That was uncalled for. That was never in the book. And then I think the other worst thing that I hated, and you're gonna laugh at this, was where Slughorn was telling the story about the fish in the bowl.
Oh shit.
That one, I hate it. I
I
absolutely
mean,
hate.
fair enough.
It was an unnecessary scene, and it was such a shitty scene because that's not exactly how he told everything. So that's a big reason why I don't like the Half Blood Princess, because so many unnecessary scenes.
I get that.
Acting wasn't there, but I'm looking at Janet McTeer, and yeah, you're absolutely right when you say about, like, if her hair was a little bit darker, she definitely gives some Umbridge vibes. Looking right here at her resume, she's got a really great resume of films.
Yes.
Let's see, she was Caroline Pierce actually in The Walking Dead. So I did not know that about her. And I don't. Oh, she's in the last Mission Impossible film.
She's
So
in
interesting.
Maleficent.
She's been in a lot of really good movies.
Mm-hmm.
But that is it, of course, for the casting choices. But I mean, there so far there hasn't been any decisions on any of the other casting choices, especially when it comes to the kid actors. But
Right.
the filming is supposed to take place here in the summer of this year, which I
Okay.
like. And of course, the series is going to be released next year in 2026. So absolutely looking forward to this. Big discussion, of course, on this podcast is, what are we going to look for? What are we looking for in these 8 episodes? Me personally, like, for the first ever episode, I want that first chapter of the book. I want that entire first chapter of the book where it's the Dursleys waking up. You see them you see Vernon in the purple face go to work, and bushy mustache, and him coming home talking to Petunia and everything, and then you see Dumbledore and McGonagall and Hagrid come in. That's what I want to see, because
Right.
I understand, like, in the first film, like, you didn't have time to do that. You didn't have time to do everything from the books. But Chris Columbus did a great job, by the way. I
Yes.
always got to give him credit. Chris Columbus is one of my all-time favorite directors, because he always does such a great job when he works with kids. And that's another reason why I loved why the Philosopher's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets are my 2 most favorite movies. But I mean, like, what is your expectation, though, of this first episode? I'm very curious on your takes on that.
For me personally, I'm not gonna lie. I was not the biggest reader, and so the books aren't as close to me as the movies are. So I kind of do rely on what the movies gave me and what they provided me with. And so I'm gonna say, for this series, I want that feeling that you get whenever you watch that first movie, like watching Harry like get all of his stuff, watching them like go onto platform 9 3/4, just like, it makes you so happy, and you get this like really interesting feeling, and I just want to experience that. I don't want it to just be like, generic, like everything is right now. Just like, I don't, what's the word, like whenever you try to make things like they are now.
Very bland.
Right, exactly. I don't want it to be like that. I want to feel magical.
I actually agree with you on that one. I know that they cannot get in complete the complete books down. I know J.K. Rowling is going to be part of this, like she was with the films. I love the fact that J.K. Rowling is being part of this because
Exactly.
J.K. has faced so much criticism, of course, over the past few years because of her views and her political agenda. Me personally, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I think that every Potter fan, whatever side of politics, whatever views that you do have, you need to be grateful that J.K. Rowling is going to be monitoring this series because she, when it actually came to the bottom line with the films, she signed off on everything, and which is why I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist right here, but I feel like she wasn't necessarily part of the sixth film because I felt like she could have not signed off on that.
Interesting.
But no, I love the fact that J.K. is back here being an observationist and just be like, this is what I want. Because I know Chris Columbus gave up to her so many times, and he's like, what do you want for this scene? How do you want this scene to work? He asked her the questions. He asked her the questions, and that's something that nobody did with the rest of the Mills. They never came up to her and asked her what she wanted. So the fact that she is a consultant on the show, big step.
Very true.
Also with the first episode, I know that they cannot get fully into this. I'm hoping that like I think every episode is going to be like an hour, maybe an hour. I hope it's like an hour. I hope it's going to be between an hour and 10 minutes. So I feel like if you have 8 episodes, you can fit plenty into an hour and 10 episodes.
Right, exactly.
Of course, I do want the opening chapter to be part of the first episode. I mean, like as a reader, like I still listen to the audiobooks. I think that's for some reason I can't get rid of them. I still have the books too, and they're old and almost just completely falling apart.
Yeah.
But now that first chapter's got to be in the first episode. But I think for the second episode, you are looking for. I think I'm looking forward to. You got to have like Piers Polkiss, like Dudley's best friend.
Yeah.
Because, the first movie we didn't see Piers. We never saw any of Dudley's stupid friends. Like, the only time we ever saw his friends like was in the Order of the Phoenix in that first scene where. First, I can't get over the thought like of Dudley wearing a silver cheap Cuban link chain and a Nike what is it, a Nike like a shirtless t-shirt or sleeveless t-shirt, excuse me. Ugh.
Yeah.
The fashion back in 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, trust me, I'm just as embarrassed as you are. Like, I will actually say this, like in high school, like in my junior year, I actually wore a do-rag.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate, embarrassing story.
Oh my goodness.
But I think for the second episode, I think what we're looking for is about I want to say about 20-30 minutes of that trip to the zoo. You got to get that trip.
Yeah.
You got to get that trip to the zoo, and you definitely cannot prolong it though, because you of course have got to get into the letters from Noah.
Yes. Yeah.
And I feel like maybe the second episode should end with Hagrid banging on that door.
Oh.
But I'm just curious, like for the second episode, like what exactly would you want to look out for?
For the second, that's kind of hard. You said like each episode is an hour and something, right?
It's gonna be, yeah. Each episode they said is gonna be an hour long at least. They said at least.
I wonder like how they're gonna time it then. Like, is he gonna go to Hogwarts like in that first episode, or are they gonna save that? Like, is the first episode just gonna be like pre stuff, or because I don't want them.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like with the Philosopher's Stone, I think you have enough time because I feel like the first 3 episodes will
Yes.
feature the beginning, the
Mhm.
zoo, and then the trip to Diagon Alley, and then of course going to Hogwarts. I
Right.
feel like the next 5 episodes will be nothing but Hogwarts.
Shit.
Um,
That's crazy.
but it's so weird because I feel like we have so much. It literally just I don't know. Like there's so much to wonder about this series because it's going to be 8 episodes, which
Mhm.
I feel like if you had 10 episodes, you could fit almost the entire book
Right.
into a season.
True. Very true.
So what are your thoughts on the fact that it's 8 episodes instead of like because I think I think
Mhm.
Game of Thrones was like 10 episodes per season.
That's right. Yeah.
So like what I'm curious, like what is your thoughts on the
Mhm.
fact that there's only gonna be 8 episodes? Because I don't know, I feel like that may
Mhm.
not be enough time to get everything in there.
Right. And I'm a little concerned because obviously, as being fans, we don't want it to be rushed. Like, we want them to take their time with it. Obviously, we don't want, like, too much space, but we want, like, that feeling. And if it's a rush, then you're not really, like, longing for more, I guess. Like, I don't know, like, are they going to put their own spin on it? Or are they going to stick to what we know? Like, I don't
I
know.
feel like maybe they're gonna put a little bit of their own spin on it. They can definitely not do this without putting their own spin on it.
Right.
But I feel like they really are gonna just stick with the original,
Mhm.
stick with the basics.
Yeah.
Um, Me personally, I wish they could do 10 episodes. I wish they could do 10 episodes
Yeah.
per season because I I'm thinking about it right now because like if you go with I think the Chamber of Secrets
Mhm.
would be the most easiest to get in 8 episodes. And I
Right.
think The Prisoner of Azkaban would get very easy to do 8 episodes.
Mhm.
But with like the Goblet of Fire and maybe the Deathly Hallows, I feel like you got to do 10 episodes per
Mhm.
season.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's true.
I
I want
mean,
them to like really focus on the trio's relationship, though. Like
yes,
that's what I'm
that's
excited for. I want to see like if they have like the same bond that we all saw, or are they gonna? I don't know. But you never know what to expect with things like this.
you really don't. And then that's a big thing that because
Mhm.
like I mentioned that Chris Columbus, he's so good when it comes to working with kids. He's
Yes.
one of the best directors when it comes to working with child actors. I mean, him and Macaulay Culkin developed a really great relationship when they were on set with Home Alone.
Mhm.
And he said that Daniel was an absolute thrill to
Mhm.
direct with because he was I feel like Dan's acting career was better in his first
Mhm.
4 movies.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
like I'm not saying that Daniel Radcliffe is a bad
Mhm.
actor. I'm saying that Dan is just he's a good actor. Um, I felt like the Half Blood Prince was definitely his worst acting, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah.
The Order of the Phoenix,
Mhm.
I don't know. He seemed like he wasn't there when it came to
Mhm.
very serious scenes in certain scenes. Um, But when it came to, of course, the Deathly Hallows, Dan's acting was right there. It was
Right.
perfectly on spot.
Yes.
Rupert, on the other hand, I will say that this is something that I think that you and I definitely have got to discuss. Is I want Ron to be toned down because when it came to the movies,
Mhm.
they made Ron out to be like this complete joke of a wizard.
Yes.
And I understand what they were going for. They were going for a little bit of comedy relief. But
Mhm.
Ron is not if people actually read the books,
Mhm.
you know, people Ron is definitely a slacker, but
Yeah.
he's a good person at heart. He just says stupid shit sometimes. And the second film, the Chamber of Secrets, that one was where his comedic role was really there.
Mhm.
I still can't get over like the spider scene. He's like, "Give me better do."
Oh my god, yes. I love that scene.
But
Jeez.
I I think that that's a big thing for me in this series is Ron cannot be looked at as a clown.
Yeah. I completely agree because, like you said, it was like a little over the top for the films, and that's not really how he's portrayed in the books. I did really like it though because, like, obviously it made me laugh, but I mean, we don't want like a repeat of that, like, because we already have that. So I do want to see like a live action version of how he would have been in the books. I would love to see that.
Oh, hands.
Mhm.
I think Rupert's best acting in all 8 movies came in the Deathly Hallows.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I want to say his worst acting, and I say this for both Emma, Daniel, and Rupert. His worst acting came in The Half-Blood Prince.
Mhm.
Anybody out there who thinks that I'm wrong, go back and watch the movie and then come back and talk to me, because it
Yeah.
was one of the roughest movies to watch in the Harry Potter series. But I liked Rupert in the first film. He because I think it was his acting debut. I think Rupert had actually,
Aw.
yeah, I think that might have been his acting debut. Let me look this up because
He was such a cute. All of them were so cute in that first movie. It's so
they
sweet.
they really were. So I am looking at his. Yeah, there you go. I'm looking right at here at his filmography. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was Rupert Grint's first ever acting role.
It's crazy.
And I think he did a great job as a child. He did a great job because
Yeah.
I think another reason why he did such a good job was Chris was there to help him.
Right. If you look at like all the behind the scenes videos, just like watching how he interacts with everyone,
He does.
it's awesome.
I think my other favorite director out of the entire series actually was Mike Newell from Goblet of Fire, because I think you might have seen the behind the scenes with this during the scene where Fred and George were wrestling. Who was it? It was one of the twins.
Mhm.
One of the twins accidentally broke his ribs because he wanted them to get really physical, and he told them, be really rough with me, and he accidentally broke Mike's ribs.
I did see that. Oh my god, that's dedication right there.
That really is dedication. I think Rupert is actually retired. No, he's not. He's not retired from acting. I thought he was retired.
I haven't heard about him in anything.
The last movie that he did was an American apocalyptic psychological horror. Oh, by M. Night Shyamalan. He was in what?
Ooh.
He was in Knock at the Cabin. He was in a Shyamalan movie. Wow.
Damn. Okay, look.
See, that tells you just how much confidence M. Night actually had in him, because when he chooses his actors, he wants them to be at their best.
Mm-hmm.
But I think another thing that we should discuss is Hermione. Hermione is the reason why I say Hermione is because when you watch The Philosopher's Stone, there was some chemistry developing very early on with Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and that wasn't how it was in the books, because when they first met her, couldn't stand her. Nobody could stand her.
Yeah.
And so I still, whoever is going to be playing Hermione, I still want to see, you still have got to get that very bossy, bushy haired girl.
Right, exactly.
But the chemistry itself between her, Ron, and Hermione, it's got to be very distant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want them to be like, all buddy right off the bat. We definitely want to see like that little bit of tension before because like in the big moment that they had together was whenever they went to go rescue her in the bathroom, when what was it, like, I don't remember like what it was.
It was a mountain troll.
Oh yeah, the troll. Yeah. Whenever he raided the school, whatever. That was like the first time we see them have like a real bond together.
I still remember one of the most memorable lines of that movie was Maggie Smith saying, "Not many first-year students could take on a fully grown mountain troll and live to tell the tale. 5 points will be awarded to each of you." And then she's like, and then I love how Maggie puts on her own sass. She's like, "For sheer dumb luck."
Yes, and then like obviously I don't remember what movie it was, but why is it when something happens, it's always you three?
Oh, that
My
was the
favorite.
Half Blood Prince. That was the best line.
Yeah,
I think that
that
was the
sounds
best line of the movie.
right.
That was honestly, Professor. I've been asking myself for the last 6 years.
Yeah, gosh.
That was a great interaction that they had. I I know Rupert actually. I think he said this in a. I don't think he said it in the anniversary of the HBO special, but
Yeah.
he said that when when the Goblet of Fire was getting made, and when him and Maggie had to dance, he said, "I was so nervous." Like,
I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, and you can actually see it on Rupert's face, like especially she's like, "Place your hand on my waist."
Where?
What?
Gosh, yeah. I
Oh
love
my gosh,
that.
that was such a memorable line. But
Yes.
yeah, I love how the fact that we are getting into the discussion of Harry, Ron, and Hermione, because like I feel like the director, and here's the big thing: don't change directors. That
Right.
was something that I really hated with the Harry Potter series. Let me pull this up because I'm very curious of how many uh directors there were, because it was actually, I'm looking. Hold on a sec. I'm looking right here, and oh wow, you're not gonna believe this, but IMDb actually has the lowest rated Harry Potter at the Chamber of Secrets. How the hell? How the fuck are you gonna
Oh
rate
shit.
the Chamber of Secrets the lowest?
That's crazy.
Oh my god! See, once again, and how many times have I told you? How many times have I told you? This is why I don't have any respect for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've had four directors with the Harry Potter series. David Yates finished off the last
Mm-hmm.
four films.
Yeah.
We had Chris Columbus do the first two films. Alfonso Cuarón for the third film. I will be completely honest with you. I was never a fan of Alfonso Cuarón. I'm never really a fan of his directing style, but I feel like Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, he did a great job when it came to his directing style.
Valid.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Mike Newell. I kind of wish Mike Newell would have returned. I felt like maybe Mike Newell could have really brought out ev- everybody's acting styles for the rest of the series.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, and then I think this is kind of funny because the producers also changed with the Harry Potter series. There have been, so David Heyman was the main producer. Chris Columbus and Mark Radcliffe were part of the Prisoner of Azkaban. David Barron was from 5 through 8, and then J.K. Rowling actually was part of it from 7 to 8.
Shit.
So that's very interesting. But
That's
it's just
crazy.
like I don't want there to be directing changes, because I feel like that would throw these actors and actresses off.
I completely agree. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know like what else to say on that. I agree with you.
Well, getting back onto the episodes, what we're going to expect. Getting onto the third episode, this is the one that I was actually very excited to talk about. So I think the third episode should feature like beginning right where Hagrid just like knocks on that door, knocks it
Yes.
down. That's exactly where you should be. And then from I think you want to do about 35 to 40 minutes of that that episode featuring Hagrid with his first interaction with Harry, going to Diagon Alley, Harry learning about that wand, and
Yes.
then you finish off with the last 20 minutes with, I think you actually should, because from the first film, The Philosopher's Stone, like Hagrid took Harry right to platform 9 3/4. Took him
Yes.
right to the station first.
Mhm.
That's not how it was in the books, because Harry's birthday is in July.
Mhm.
Isn't it? July, yeah. Um, and so Harry basically had to wait a month to get
Right.
to what the hell was it? King's Cross. And so you finish out the last 20 minutes of that movie with the Dursleys taking him to the train station, him getting onto platform 9 3/4, and then you actually do those interactions with Ron, Hermione,
Mhm.
and all the episodes. But one of the big things that I kind of want to see for the third episode, and this was missed. This
Yeah.
was missed in the Philosopher's Stone,
Okay.
was Harry and Draco did not meet at Hogwarts. They met in
Oh.
Diagon Alley. They met in Diagon Alley. They met in Madame.
Mhm.
Oh, I can't remember her name. I can't remember the woman who did the wizard robes shop, but they met in her shop.
Mhm.
And so I want to see the first interaction with Draco and Harry right then and there.
That's
And because it's kind of interesting because I don't want to see this like it's true then what they're saying on the train, and it's just like, really, that's where you first meet.
right. I understand
But
that. I mean, well, because like in the first movie, they meet at Hog. Yeah, you're right. They meet at
yeah,
Hogwarts the first time, and they do all that. I think it would be really cool for them to bring the book version of that to truth, because like obviously we haven't seen that, and I don't know. I feel like that'd be good.
I do. So I'm looking at here we go, Madame Malkin's. There we go. Madame Malkin's robes for all occasions.
Nice.
That was a little bit of an itch in my brain that I could not scratch, and I had to.
Valid.
But getting so with you with the third episode, what do you? I mean, are you? I know I keep talking and everything, but I think what I'm gonna do is now let you just like talk about like what you're gonna
Oh,
expect from
shit.
the. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I know, I'm putting you on the spot, but I mean, like, exactly what are you exactly looking forward to? Of course, the third episode.
I mean, it's with only 8 episodes. Again, like it's kind of hard to condense everything, and like really understand like how they're going to space everything out. Because if they're adding their own twists, then that takes up time from what we know the original story to be. And
Mhm.
so, you said the fourth episode or the
The fourth
third?
episode we'll get into here in a second.
Okay, so the third episode. Shoot.
Really putting her on the fucking spot now.
I really don't know because, like, again, I'm not good with timing everything. So, I mean, you've already said Diagon Alley, like meeting everyone, 3/4. I mean, for that, I guess, yeah, for the third episode, it would be him them being on the train for the first time. Like, I guess I kind of wanted to start with that. I think in the first 2 episodes, you could get everything before that. And then maybe starting with the train, maybe like halfway through. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Fourth episode.
Mhm.
This is your spot. So what are you expecting? Say once again, putting you on the spot. What are you expecting from the fourth episode?
Fourth episode. I mean, like we haven't really talked about Coral yet. Like he's a big part of that.
Oh crap! I forgot about him. Yes, because Harry and him meet in Diagon Alley, like in the bar. I know the movie's got that right.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. We don't really, besides them meeting that one time, I think they meet one more time before, like, obviously the big ending scene. Whenever he's like teaching a class, and I think like there was one more mention of him, but I want a little bit more interaction, I guess. Like, I want to
Okay, I
see his
like that.
personality. So maybe that could be like something that happens in the fourth episode. But
Okay, I like that.
yeah.
With me with the fourth episode, of course, we've got to get the sorting done. Got to get this. I feel like the sorting. I feel like the sorting could get done probably within the first 15, 20 minutes, because
Right.
I think the sorting scene in the philosopher's almost messed up on that. The philosopher's stone.
Mhm.
I think that scene was about 10 to 15 minutes long. So you
Oh,
can
yeah.
get a lot. So you can get a lot of it condensed right there,
Right.
which is
Exactly.
good. And then the rest of this fourth episode, I feel like, you just have Harry finally learning the ropes of what it is to be a wizard. It's not all about, waving your wands and saying a bunch of crazy words.
Yes.
You get your first interaction with McGonagall, your first interaction with Snape.
Yes.
That's the one that I'm actually looking forward to, because first of all, like, I still can remember
Mhm.
Professor Snape just like opening that door so violently, be like, there will be no foolish wand waving or silly incantations in this class.
Yes.
And then I feel like you can get a really good amount covered of that book, of the first couple chapters. You can clear the sorting scene. You can clear Harry's first couple days at Hogwarts. You can actually also, I think you can actually knock off. I think you can actually knock off the Quidditch scene, the first flying scene,
Oh.
and the meeting with Fluffy. I feel like that they can.
Right.
I feel like that they could condense that episode pretty well to where they can knock out at least 2 to 3 chapters.
Shit, yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
That
of
would-
course. The meaning of Fluffy, of course. I mean, that was always a memorable scene in
Oh
the
yeah.
Philosopher's Stone.
Oh yeah.
And
I've
of
always wanted to
course,
pet that dog.
and of course, I still remember Emma's line. I'm going to bed before either of you two give another clever idea to get us killed, or
Or
worse,
worse, expelled.
expelled. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
No. Damn it.
Of course, I love Rupert's line at the end of that. She needs to sort out her priorities.
Oh my gosh.
So we come to the 5th episode. I feel like the 5th episode is where we really see Quidditch get into it. I feel like Quidditch and the Halloween episode where they save Hermione that's where episode 5 is going to really revolve around.
Right. Yeah, I think so. And then I don't know, like.
And then we got 3 episodes left, of course.
Yeah. Shoot, because like obviously we have to the chess scene, like.
Oh yeah.
That's a really big.
The Mirror of Erised. I forgot about that.
Yes.
Yes.
I
feel like that's going to come in handy with the 6th episode because I don't know. I feel like they will be focusing, of course, episode 6 on the Mirror of Erised and of course to the Invisibility Cloak, right. and then of course we end up with 7 was probably going to be Voldemort right there in the forest. Ferenzi telling him all about that, and then finally we get the last episode where it'll be just covering completely that scene of them getting through all those traps, right. getting the Philosopher's Stone and all that good stuff. So I feel like I don't know, yeah, I'm thinking about it, and yeah, you can condense a lot of these episodes really well. One big thing that I do want to say is there is a Quidditch match that Professor Snape refereed, right? And I feel like that is a must game that you got to show because it was it the second game? I think it was a second. Yeah, it was a second game that Harry did because Harry only played 2 games that year because he missed the last one because he was in the hospital bed. But so I feel like if you get those two Quidditch games under your belt, I'm going to be a very happy Potterhead.
Valid.
Because like Quidditch was respected through the first 2 films. Quidditch was respected to the first 2 films because in Prisoner of Azkaban, we missed the Quidditch Cup. Like, how do you miss that one? And I hope to God, like when season 3 comes up in the Prisoner of Azkaban, they focus on the Quidditch Cup.
Oh yeah.
Because like if you don't focus on the Quidditch Cup, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
All I know is that with this first episode, the first season, at the very end, we need that line that Harry says, like, "I'm not going home, not really," because that. Oh my god. That of course that was just that was one of the most memorable lines of all time. You know what? I need to do this, so I just got to bring this up. Got to look it up. But I mean, I think that was one of Daniel Radcliffe's most memorable lines that he had as not just as a child actor, but just working on those films. Right. I think so.
Yeah, hold on a second. Here we go. Hold on one quick second. So this is here we go. I gotta make sure I can pull this up. So what I'm gonna do is let's see what I can do. I can actually can I share? Yep, here we go. Screen share. There we go. Fit this in here. Let's see. Did I get it in here? No, I did. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now I got it right there. So this is we got to of course listen to this. Oops.
Thought you were leaving without saying goodbye, did you?
Ugh.
This is for you.
Okay, you know what? I'm already starting to tear up right now.
Oh my god.
You know, another reason why I'm tearing up is because this is one of my favorite scenes with Robbie and Dan. Oh.
Thanks, Hagrid.
Oh. Just at.
No.
Oh.
Go on with you.
On with you now. On with you.
Well, now
And
you-
listen, Harry.
Is
With that dope of a cousin of yours, Dudley, gives you any grief,
You
you could always threaten him. Nice pair of ears to go that tail of his.
But, Hagrid, we're not allowed to do magic away from Hogwarts. You know that.
I do.
I do.
But
Your cousin don't do it. Oh my God. Again, Robbie was just one of the best when it came to this casting
It
choice.
sounds big,
And here it is.
doesn't it? I'm not going home. Not really.
Oh,
Oh my god.
oh my gosh.
So sweet.
That really is. And there you go. I mean, that right there, yes, that's a scene that for episode 8, you have to do something very, very meaningful like that. I do know this, though, and I wasn't very upset with it.
Yeah.
Hagrid originally gave Harry his album while he was in the hospital wing. So, but I wasn't upset at this scene. That scene right there in the Philosopher's Stone, one of the most memorable scenes in the Harry Potter universe, and it was such a heartfelt moment between him and Hagrid.
It really is. Yeah. And like obviously you're eight films in, just like reliving that like from the first movie, I haven't seen that first movie in so long and I completely forgotten it.
Right. And here's the thing, and to everybody out there wondering, so here in not in 2 months, but basically a month or so, me and Cass will be getting started into the Harry Potter franchise. So we're gonna react to that. Yeah, we'll. You know, I swear to God, I feel like I should buy wizard robes just for the shit of it.
Oh my god, Loki. I have a wand. I've been to Universal like 4 times. I have a wand.
You know what? No, I fucking hate you. I absolutely fucking hate you. Jesus.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You know what? So for everybody out there wondering, this is what she does to me. She does this on purpose.
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
No, I don't.
yeah. Yes, you do.
I've just been to Japan and Universal, so it's fine.
Sure, rub it in my face again.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, so we've covered all of this. I mean, and we've done it in a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like one scene that I think in particular that should actually be seen at the end of episode 8 when they're going home. I feel like that heartfelt scene between him and Hagrid, it should happen. But I also kind of feel like, because this was also in the books, is when they get back to King's Cross, everybody's there to meet them. Mrs. Weasley's there, of course. Yeah. And I think this is kind of funny. This is so funny because Arthur Weasley has only been not seen in one movie. Mm-hmm. And Mrs. Weasley has not been seen in only one movie. And I always thought that was funny because Mrs. Weasley was taken out of the Goblet of Fire. That ticked me off.
Yeah.
Arthur Weasley was actually never introduced until, of course, the Chamber of Secrets, which I'm fine with it. But I want them to kind of add this little bit of comedic humor with at the end of it, because it was Harry saying to his friends, the Dursleys don't know that I'm not allowed to use magic over the summer. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have a lot of fun with Dudley this summer. Like, definitely kind of throw that little bit of smart assness at him.
Definitely. He's not like, I don't want to say he's not a sweet kid, but it's like, he's still a child. He's got like a little bit of mischief in him. And if I were him, I'd fucking do that all the time. All the damn time.
Oh, of course. I mean, like Dudley's a little asshole.
Yes. If I lived with that family, oof. Yeah.
I know that originally the actor who did play Dudley, he was recently on a podcast. I can't remember what it was. I think it was 5 months ago, and they were talking about the last scene that he did with Dan, and he said he was tremendously pissed off with Warner Brothers that they did not put in the scene where he's like, I don't think you're a waste of space. Like, Why would you take out
Yes.
such an important scene like that?
I know.
And there was a scene in the Deathly Hallows. I'm glad it got taken out because it was one of those scenes that I told you about, like from the Half-Blood Prince. Very unnecessary scene. It was Mrs. Dursley standing in the living room
Yep.
so you have seen that deleted scene.
Yes.
And she had like this heartfelt moment between her and Harry, and it's just like they never had that.
Nope.
And I'm just really interested to see who is going to be playing the Dursleys, because it's going to be very interesting to see, because you definitely got to get a very heavy person to play Mr. Dursley,
Right.
of course. You got to get a woman who has a giraffe-like neck.
Yeah, but it's just,
Well,
I
you know,
don't
'cause
want them to like completely change everything. So, again, with casting choices nowadays, you don't know what to expect, and so I don't want to like start the series and it just be like people that I don't recognize. Obviously, I don't know the people, but you know what I mean.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of casting choices that we're not ever going to know. You're not ever going to recognize. I mean, the only real two actors that I recognize in this series so far is John Lithgow and Nick Frost. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they said Gary Oldman is wanting to come back and possibly play Voldemort.
Interesting.
And let me make sure I have this correctly, because oops. Let's see, because Gary Oldman was open to coming back to play a role.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. So let's see. He wanted to play Dumbledore, and I felt like maybe that could have been the better casting choice.
Well, I think so.
But now the question is, this is a big question on my mind, is who is going to play Voldemort? Because as we all know, Lord Voldemort is just like Ralph Fiennes absolutely killed that role. He's too old to be playing him now.
Well,
he's 62 years old, and actually Ian Hart originally played. I think he was the original Voldemort in the Philosopher's Stone, and I'm looking at his photo right now, and he's 60 years old right now. And the only problem that I have with is, like, you kind of give off those Lord Voldemort feels, except for one big old problem. And type him up right now and look at his photo, and you will see the problem that I'm looking at.
Who am I looking up?
Ian Hart.
Hold on.
Yeah, you see it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Ian Hart was Quirrell. Sorry, he was Quirrell in the first film. Jesus. Why did it say he played Voldemort?
Wait, oh.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
okay, here we go. It was Richard Bremmer who actually played Voldemort in the original. Yeah, he played the. Yeah, there we go. So I got Quirrell mixed up with Voldemort. Jesus. That's an insult right there. Jeez. I don't know. Like it's going to be very interesting. If you could actually choose a really good actor, if you could think of a really good actor to actually come and play Voldemort, I mean, who would you actually choose?
Hold on, give me 1 second.
I don't know. I'm kind of open to seeing Gary Oldman.
Oh, I mean, I think that would be a good idea.
Because, I mean, he played the anti-hero in Sirius Black once, so why not come back to the Harry Potter series, play the ultimate villain? Because I'll say this right now, Gary Oldman, absolutely one of the best actors of all time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So very curious. So who are you? Well, who would you like to see play Voldemort?
Hold on. I'm trying to find names. My mind is blanking with names. Jesus Christ.
See, I put her on the spot. That was my fault.
Well, listen. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to see like what other people have said. That way I can go based off of what other people have said. What did you say again?
So I said Gary Oldman.
You know, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like maybe Gary Oldman could actually just absolutely kill this role. I feel like he could just do some serious damage with this one because I feel like it would bring out even more creativity with him.
That's a fair point.
But that is actually going to do it for this discussion with me and Cass. Hope you guys did actually tune in to, of course. Yeah, there she goes, like doing her snake movements. She better not be. You're not a Slytherin, are you?
I might be a Parseltongue.
Oh, good God. Well, I actually am. I actually can say I am a Gryffindor.
Oh, nice. I'm a Hufflepuff.
Okay. You know what? There you go. At least, you at least you're a good one. So a Gryffindor and a Hufflepuff working together.
Hell yeah.
No controversies there. But actually, you want to know something funny? Is that in the Big Bang Theory, Amy actually bought a Hufflepuff robe, and she bought a Gryffindor robe for Sheldon, and he's like, oh, a Gryffindor and a Hufflepuff, how scandalous!
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh! And then of course he actually got pissed off at her because she was trying to like spice in the mood by getting dressed into her wizard robes.
Yeah.
And she comes out. She's like, hold on a second. Let me pull this up. I officially got to pull this up just for fun.
Like,
just for fun.
That's crazy.
Oh my goodness. This is so stupid. Like it's so stupid because like Sheldon, he pisses me off so much. Like in the Big Bang, not just in the Big Bang Theory, but also in Young Sheldon, he ticks me off so much because of just his sheer arrogance. But here we go. Oops.
All right, you can open your
Oh,
eyes.
no.
I thought I'd let Harry Potter make things hotter.
I have.
Wowza.
Oh my god! See, that's what gets his mood going.
I got a Gryffindor robe for you.
Gryffindor sleeping with a Hufflepuff? How scandalous.
Jesus.
You naughty girl.
Oh my.
You went to the Wizarding World theme park without me.
I did. Am I in trouble?
You're in trouble. You went to Wizarding World without me.
See, really, that's what you care about in this situation?
Yeah.
I swear to God, like, that's what you care in this situation. Your wife is standing there,
Yeah.
like, your wife is standing there wanting to have sex with you, and you're just like, you get pissed off because she went to Wizarding World and got robes for you.
That's how his brain works, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know.
Fortunately for
But
her,
anyway, everybody, that is wow. We actually covered this podcast pretty well in just a little over an hour.
Yep.
But that is going to do it for this first ever video podcast of me and Cass. There she goes doing her Slytherin dance.
That's so much fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's a big reason why we do this podcast is to have fun. Like we always do this podcast. Like, yeah, see.
Hell yeah.
See, this is kind of funny because I feel like Trent might get jealous because we just make an odd couple at this point in time.
Oh my God. Who knows if he's even going to watch this?
Yeah, right. And of course, for Trent, if he does listen to this real quickly, I know he listened to. I think he did listen to the Goofy Movie podcast last night. Real quickly again, Trent, do your scrambled eggs look like her?
Not again. Oh my God. That's crazy.
Oh my God. I think that was the dumbest joke I made last night.
It wasn't really a joke. I mean,
More of a fantasy.
Story, so, yeah.
More of a fantasy. Be just like he's trying to like look at you in the ripples of the water, and then when he has eggs, he's like, oh, there's your face right there. He's like,
oh my goodness.
Do I eat Cass's face or do I let them rot?
Holy shit.
Well, I mean, if you
I
let
mean, yeah.
eggs sit there for a while, they're gonna get bad.
Very true.
But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode of Ready Set Action Commentaries. Hope you guys did like this this video podcast. We will be posting this audio podcast on Spotify and Apple. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Hit that little bell icon. That way you know whenever we have content like this, when we do a live podcast or when we upload content. We got content coming here in about 4 days, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, both me and Cass, we are going to be back next week watching The Holiday for our audio podcast. That was her choice, by the way.
That was my choice. Oh my god.
And I did reveal my next movie choice to Cass here, and she absolutely loves it. But we're not going to reveal it. You guys gotta wait till next week.
It's a secret.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just like Amy hid the fact that she went to Wizarding World without Sheldon. You guys are gonna have to wait a week to find out. But that is going to do it for this episode of Ready Set Action Commentaries. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for this video podcast. We will see you guys next week.